The US government just looked at the single most powerful AI model on Earth and said, yeah, no. On June 12th, Anthropic got a letter from the Commerce Department and within hours pulled the plug on Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5, their two best models for everyone. Not banned in China. Banned for any foreign national, which legally includes Anthropic's own employees without a US passport. The most advanced intelligence humanity has ever built, export-controlled like a stealth fighter. Let's get into it. It's June 23rd, and this is the decode. Here's the timeline. Anthropic ships Fable 5, a new frontier tier above Opus, on June 9th. 1 million token context, $50 a million output tokens, their strongest model ever. 3 days later, gone. The reason? A jailbreak that allegedly unlocked Mythos' cyber capabilities. Anthropic said it was one narrow exploit, not a master key, but when commerce says national security, you comply. Trump even met Dario Amodei at the G7 and eased concerns. And yet, still offline. The best model in the world, and you can't run it. Hilarious timing, because while the closed labs got unshipped by the government, open source had its best week ever. GLM 5.2 from GPU. Open weights, 1 million context. On Frontier SWE it trails Opus 4.8 by 1% and beats GPT 5.5. A free model, beating a Frontier API. Then MiniMax M3, a new sparse attention architecture, 1 million context, natively multimodal, it can drive your computer. Best moment of the week. On the local Llama subreddit, the number 2 open models team publicly congratulated number 1. No moats, just nerds gassing each other up. The closed labs didn't sit still. OpenAI made GPT 5.5 instant the default, 52% fewer hallucinations in medicine, law, and finance. Translation: it makes things up only half as confidently. Google fired back with Gemini 3.5 Pro, 2 million token context, and a deep think mode. The context windows are now bigger than the code bases we feed them. Speed round. Meta laid off 8,000 people while promising $135 billion AI spend, and Zuck's own memo admitted, quote, "We've made mistakes." Also, Meta closed source Llama, right as open source won the week. Apple shipped a fully rebuilt Siri that can finally see your screen, only 4 years late. And Anthropic dropped the Claude Agent SDK, subagents, and MCP native. The labs giveth, the government taketh away. Speaking of giving and taking, let's talk about Elon's week. First, he lost his lawsuit against OpenAI. The jury threw it out in under 2 hours. Then, on the very same day the government killed Claude, SpaceX went public in the biggest IPO in history and made Elon the world's first trillionaire. That's a 1 with 12 zeros. So how did he celebrate? SpaceX, yes, the rocket company, turned around and bought Cursor for $60 billion. All stock. The largest acquisition of a venture-backed startup ever. Cursor runs on roughly half of all Fortune 500 dev machines. Elon lost OpenAI in court, became a trillionaire, and bought your IDE all in 1 week. But the biggest story isn't a model, it's a person. Andrej Karpathy, OpenAI co-founder, ex-Tesla autopilot, left his own startup and joined Anthropic. His mission? A team that uses Claude to accelerate pre-training of the next Claude. AI, training AI to build better AI. The recursion is the product. At Sequoia, he named the era, Software 3.0, anything a human can verify, a model can be trained to produce. His other prediction? The slopeapocalypse. Right on cue, AI-generated books now outnumber human ones on Amazon. Verification era, slop era, same era. Quick opinion, because the timeline is out of control. First Karpathy gave us vibe coding. Then everyone discovered context engineering. This week the feeds want loop engineering, which is putting an agent in a while loop until it stops failing. And ponytail coding, the very serious philosophy of writing less code. Hot take, half of AI engineering in 2026 is renaming a for loop and a delete key into a LinkedIn carousel. The good ones are real disciplines. The rest are vibes with a changelog. Now, remember that ban from the top? One country watched the US switch off its best model for foreigners and thought, good thing we built our own. Meet Sarvam. On June 15th, the Bengaluru startup became India's newest AI unicorn, $234 million, a $1.5 billion valuation led by HCL Tech. Their models, Sarvam 30B and 105B, are open source and trained from scratch in India on the India AI Mission's 38,000 GPU cluster. TechCrunch literally framed the raise as AI sovereignty gaining fresh urgency. The same week Anthropic went dark. Half the new cash goes straight to GPS. When the frontier can be revoked by a foreign government, owning the whole stack stops being national pride and becomes national security. Which is the part nobody's pricing in. On the local Llama subreddit, the real question wasn't which model is best, it was, what happens when the money runs out? A $200 subscription reportedly buys $8,000 of compute. That's not a business, that's VC-funded charity with a chat box. So when subsidies dry up and prices triple, the only models that can't get more expensive or get pulled by a government are the open weights on your own drive. Trivia before you go. Karpathy just joined Anthropic to work on pre-training, and that's literally the P in GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. The man's whole new job is one letter of the acronym that started it all. that's your week. A model too dangerous to use, free models nipping at its heels, India betting it called this years ago, and the godfather of neural nets teaching AI to raise itself. Here's the thing, the decode is now weekly. So if you want the entire AI week compressed into 6 honest minutes, every Monday subscribe. This has been The Decode, verify everything, trust nothing, and I'll see you in the next one.